Here's how to respond in one way. Ben Shapiro is editor-in-chief of dailywire.com. I say that with some jest in my voice, but not really, because, I just had on Mark Penn, used to work for the Clintons. This is not the Democratic Party of old. What is it?
Well, it's the new Democratic Socialist Party, and this is the wave of the future, according to Tom Perez over at the DNC. What's really incredible about all of this is that if Republicans could simply make this a referendum on Democratic extremism, on the fact that this is not even Nancy Pelosi's party anymore, it's Ocasio-Cortez's party, then Republicans would have, I think, a much better shot in 2018 and going into the future. The fact is that she makes statements that are factually untrue on a regular basis. She makes claims about socialism that are wild and crazy. She wants to spend, Bernie Sanders' plans, they want to spend something like $218 trillion over the next 30 years, which would require a quadrupling of the percentage of GDP that we spend on government over the next 30 years. And she doesn't have to answer a single hard question from an interviewer at any point because she refuses to do anything remotely resembling an interview with somebody on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be the only reason why the tough questions might not come. They have come, and they've been difficult sometimes for her. She's, the Middle East, foreign policy is not my thing, so on and so forth. And she struggled in some areas, but quite frankly, I thought her district was here in New York. And the Democrats are putting her out on this main national stage, and that gets complicated no matter whom they surround her with, like Bernie Sanders, whoever it is. You have a direct clapback to the soccer moms line.
Yeah, the fact is that the soccer moms aren't driving vans anymore. They're driving SUVs. And also the purpose of having a van is that you don't have to have two of them. I'm not sure when there was ever a soccer mom who had two vans. The whole purpose of a minivan is you can fit everybody in one vehicle. But it's also factually untrue. The fact is that the number of mothers in American society is actually increasing for the first time in years, over the past 10 years. You're actually seeing an increase in the number of women who are staying at home. I don't know why the Democrats are now appealing to a crowd that does not include soccer moms. If they want to win elections in the future, it seems like that should be particularly the crowd that they're aiming at.
What is it, the passion versus the policy? I had a guest on Outnumbered Overtime earlier today, Noel Nikpour, who put it that way. And she said, as long as they stay in the passion lane, that's fine. But what is the policy that goes along? What socialist country do we know of where these policies have actually worked? That's my question.
They keep shifting the answer, right? The USSR, they say, was not socialist. They say now Cuba was not socialist and Venezuela is not socialist. Now they really like the Nordic countries, which they say are socialist, ignoring, of course, the fact that all wealth generated in Nordic countries was generated by capitalism, and their social redistribution programs have actually created massive costs for those countries. The attempt to label what are capitalist countries with a few social systems on top of those as socialist countries as a whole, even those countries reject it. Denmark's prime minister came to the United States a couple of years ago when Bernie Sanders was saying Denmark was a socialist country, and he said directly about Bernie Sanders, no, we're not a socialist country, we're a capitalist country. It's easy to stand up for Marxism when you keep shifting the explanation for why Marxism has failed.
Why do you think people want to hear about democratic socialists? Why do you think they're listening to Ocasio-Cortez? And by the way, most Democrats say, that's not my party. But generationally, neither is Nancy Pelosi. Dianne Feinstein couldn't even get an endorsement.
That's right. I think that the reason you're seeing people resonate to this is because the Democrats don't actually have a lot of new ideas, and anything that looks like moderation would require them to reach across the aisle. So they're stuck between their own Trump derangement syndrome, their hatred for the president, and the fact that they need a separate agenda. And this creates the need for an Ocasio-Cortez.
Well, Ben Shapiro looks into it and writes about it and is on the program tonight very candidly. Thank you. Great to see you.
You too.